Hey, what you want me, people? My name Kelechi Udegbe, Nollywood actor, you know. Me want to tell all my fans and my friends to keep watching NoireTV. All my friends in the United States of America, all my friends in the Caribbean, all my friends in Jamaica. Come on, put a big hug. NoireTV, give you the best of Nollywood, the best of Hollywood. Poor, poor. Kelechi says so. NoireTV. Don't turn that dial. And give me some to my Jamaican people. My name is Kelechi Udegbe. I'm an actor, a producer, an executive producer also. And I am a Nigerian, basically. I'm from Imo State, Idiatono local government in Nigeria. And I just do entertainment stuff. That's who I am.
All right, tell us a bit how you get into, acting as a profession.
Oh, how I got into my profession? Well, I've always been a movie fan. I've always loved watching films when I was younger. And I also loved cartoons a lot. I loved cartoons because I felt like cartoon characters could depict anything they wanted. So, yeah, if you were a cartoon character, you could do anything you wanted. So I always loved watching cartoons, and they were very animated with their reactions and all. So I always knew I loved I loved acting, but I never knew I was going to be an actor because I grew up being I was in a group wanting to do music, but the group thing wasn't working. So I looked around and I really wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So I just picked up acting, and from then it's been awesome. I've done a couple of movies, TV series, short films, and along the line I've also produced about 3 films, and I'm also one of the executive producers of the award-winning, multiple internationally acclaimed Mami Water. Mami Water has been to Sundance Film Festival in Utah. We're in Sundance in 2022. Yes, Sundance Film Festival. And we've been to a lot of festivals since then, Mami Water. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Tell us about the very first project that, got to limelight.
All right, the very first project that brought to my, I would say it was Super Story, and Behind the Smile was the title of the Super Story series then. And it's funny because I didn't know I was going to get to be a lead character on it. It's a Wale Adenuga Productions. And I went for an audition as usual. I finished with the audition, and then they asked us to submit pictures. In fact, during my audition, after my audition, the judges there, they didn't say anything. They were just looking at me and said, "Thank you, drop your picture." So I went outside. I was like, "Did I ask anybody to wait? What did they say when you finished auditioning?" And some people were like, "Oh, they loved my audition." They said I tried. And then some people said, "Oh, they asked me to wait behind." And some people said, "It's actually drop a picture and go." So I was worried. But I wanted to draw my picture, and I noticed also that my picture was was the least glam picture. I mean, every other person's picture was like studio-like and everything and poses and all, but mine was just there. And I'm like, okay, I'll drop this picture, but I'll have to come back on Monday and change this picture. But by the time I got back there on Monday, they said, no need. We've already used the picture and all. So, all right, okay. Then they called for a callback. I had a callback. And then at the callback, they were now sharing the scripts. So each and everybody was getting some pieces of paper, about 3 pages and all. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was called. When I got there, I was given like a script, a big script. And I was looking at Uncle Becky. Yeah, it was him. I was like, I know Kelechi Udegbe. I said, yes. He said, yeah, that's the script. I'm like, oh, okay. So I left. I went out. I went to the right because I was going back home. And I was still wondering, is this real? And then I heard, hey, come back, hey. I turned around, Kelechi, come back. And I came back. I'm like, oh, shit. I knew this was not for me. And when I came back, I went to meet Uncle Becky, and he said, like, make sure you try and come with some costumes. I'm like, okay, sir. So I went back out. I didn't go right anymore. I went left. I ran to the bus stop. And yes, that was the beginning of that was my big break. And the Super Story was really great because people loved it. And even then, my sister, who is a critic of anything, my sister tells you that this is fine, and trust me, this is fine. So after seeing the series, she was like, oh, Kelechi, you're a fantastic actor, you're very good at this. I mean, we're all in the house, we didn't know you were this great and all that. So yeah, that was my first big break in the industry. And since then, I've been there, yeah.
Very nice. So let's talk about What's the first thing you do to research and approach the role?
The first thing I do when I'm being given a role or a character to play is first that's the first thing I do. I don't know about other people. So English is not. I wouldn't say English is our first language, you know. So we have Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, the major three tribes, but we also have other people with other languages and all. But Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, right? And then there's Pidgin. That's our own kind of English. It's broken English. It's called Pidgin. So the first thing I do is when I get the script, I read the script normal. It's in English, and then I try to read it in Pidgin, because you know, when you read something in a language that you understand, you get to understand it more. That's for me. I don't know what others do, but I try to read it in the language I understand. It's just like going to the hospital now and you tell the doctor, oh God, I have tummy ache. And the doctor say, how is it? You know, if it's in pidgin, say, Baba, the belly they pay me. If like say they use hammer and knock me for here, you come like say here they pull. You know, you explain yourself better. So that's the first thing I do. I read it in pidgin. And after doing that, I now look at the character. What are the character traits? What is it? What is this character struggling for? What is he looking for? What is the conflict? What is this character doing in this film? Because people don't want to watch a film and see what happens every day. I mean, they have an everyday life. So even if they go out every day, they see different things and all. So what are those things that are special that they can see and like, oh my God, this happens. So I try to look for the peculiarities around the character. And for example, it's if it's a character that has to be a crazy guy or a depressed person and all, I try to look for people like that. I try to read up stories about people like that. And then I try to put those things into the environment where the character is. Because if the character is probably a poor guy, there's a difference. If he's an average guy, there's a difference. If he's a rich guy, there's a difference. Also, what is the character's background? Did he go to school? What level did he finish at? How was his upbringing? Was he loved at home? Because those things play vital roles in characterization. If somebody who was loved, trained, who grew up with love, is actually different from somebody who didn't have much love or who was on their own or who was raised with hate. You know, somebody who was raised averagely good with money is different from somebody who was raised without money. Somebody who had parents, a father and a mom, is different from someone who didn't have any. You know, so most of this background checks for the character in the environment he is. And then I go around the environment to you know, just to look, because I'm an actor, so I always try to visualize. I always try to watch. I always try to learn from every situation, from everybody. Even the guys that are doing the interview now, I met them and I looked at them and I'm still looking at their traits and all, because one day you could be called upon to play a character that involves this. And then like, oh, what happened that day? How did this person go? So for me, it's more about the history of the character from back, where it's very important, the background, from the day he was born till the age you're playing. What has been happening in this character's life? Because that's what helps you to be the character. Those are some of the things I do, and a couple of other things too. And I love to watch a lot of. I try to do something called referencing the character. Sometimes I see a film or I see a film about a character that has been played that looks like that. I mean, how was this character played? How was it portrayed? Okay, so it was portrayed like this. Why? I think about it and plus what I've known and what I want to add. So it's easier because there's nothing new in this life. There's no new story. There's no new nothing. Everything, there's nothing new. It's only how you portray it and how you give it to the people that matters, you know. So there's no new performance or anything, but I try to pick from here, from there, and then it feels like new because it's me and a couple of other things, you know, but there's really nothing new. So yeah, those are some of the ways which I, you know.
Thank you very much for that. So let's talk about. So now let's talk about how do you sometimes. What are some things you do to develop accents for specific roles?
Accents for specific roles. Well, truth is, I was born in Lagos, right? And I had my secondary school in the East. I was born in the West. I schooled secondary school in the East, and then I've had some movements around the East. So I understand you. In fact, a lot of people think I'm a Yoruba boy, but I'm an Igbo boy. A lot of people think I'm a Yoruba boy because I grew up in Lagos and probably have picked up most of the traits, you know, the accent, the language and all. So it's easy for me to play a Yoruba character. It's kind of easy for me to play an Igbo character also because that's where I'm from. You know, so but for the accents I can't do and I don't bother to. You know, there's some things that, you know, oh, this is, and because of the way we film sometimes, yeah, we might not have enough time for you to learn. But for me to pick up probably an accent, because I tried, I used to do some patois Jamaican thing back then, way back. But then, because I believe there's nothing you can't learn, if I have enough time, I'll pick up any accent I want. It's not that hard. It's just being creative.
Okay. Have you, did you do stage productions?
Yes, so stage productions, oh God, I love stage productions. I've done stage productions way back before I came to TV and film, and also I had a conversation with Uncle Bimbo Manuel, fantastic actor recently, and we talked about, you know, acting and all, and then he was giving me nuggets, wisdom. He was like, sometimes, you know, we do this TV screen thing, sometimes it's also good to, you know, get into the stage and purge yourself sometimes of the whole TV and film thing, which I agreed with him. I haven't done a stage performance in a while, but I remember one vivid one I did, that was a while ago. Sizwe Banzi is dead, and I played the character of Man, and we were taken into secondary schools. And the very, very first performance we had, you know, got in on stage, we you know, were backstage and all, so everything started. And by the time I got on stage, I was shocked to see the audience. They all had a copy of the book, Sizwe Banzi is dead. Oh my God. They all had a copy, and, you know, it was, initially I was like, oh my God, but because, you know, it's performance and all, I did my thing, and then because I was ready to do it anyways, it was an outstanding performance because they were following it word for word, and they enjoyed the interpretation of that character, which was, for me, awesome. And at the end of the day, they all came and like, oh, Uncle, how did you do it? It was so good. It was long, and the way you were saying it is not the way we read it. We read it, but then you brought it to life and all. So it was really exciting. And I love stage because there you don't have to cut, you don't have to cut, you go all right. So if someone misses a line, you know, you have to help. If you miss a line, the other person has to help. So it's more improv. And the stage, if you feel like you own the wall, there's this thing that comes with stage. So I love stage a lot. Yeah, I do. And having that chat with Uncle Bimbo also, because I was thinking recently about what I'm doing and how I can get to improve and, you know, things I can do. And I had a chat with Uncle Bimbo, and yes, I'm like, I have to, even if it is not someone's stage play, but I have to find something to do for myself regarding stage, at least from now and in the years coming.
Nice. Okay, let's quickly do a bit of role recollection. Some of the roles you played in the past.
No, okay.
So, like for the movie Betrayed, let's talk about the character.
Betrayed is which one?
Betrayed.
Betrayed. Oh.
Long time.
Yeah, I can't. It's mixing up. But I can talk. I can instead of you, I can talk about some of the characters I played.
How about taxi driver?
Taxi driver. Oh yeah, I can talk about taxi driver.
Just the role and then how the first on set.
Oh, okay. So Taxi Driver was an awesome film. I loved it. Daniel Ohewi, who recently went to Tribeca this year with this film, The Weekend, which is premiering today. Also, it's premiering today Friday. Yes. Daniel, then, you know, young. He's still young, but, you know, full of everything. So Taxi Driver, my character in Taxi Driver, I didn't have much to say, and that is the thing. Actors sometimes, we chat and all, but most actors feel they want to talk, always want to say something, you know, because for me, I feel like less is more. And as an actor, when you have roles which you don't have much to say and you have screen time, that now is the hard part because you're not saying anything. So you can't just be lost in the scene. You can't be lost in the scene. So how do you make that scene memorable enough for somebody to say, that guy, who is that guy? There's something about that person. You're not saying nothing, but they're like, I want to see that guy. So Taxi Driver, I didn't have much to say, but, you know, a lot of people saw it and they loved the way I played the character because all he had to say was to get in the car and say, drive, you know, but it was all about, I had to bring out an aura, an air around the character. So when you see the character, you're like, okay, what's this? He just says one thing and you want him to talk more, but he's not saying anything, but it's kind of weird. You're looking at him. So for me, I think it's one of the hardest characters to play. A character when you don't have much to say, but you have a lot of screen appearance. It's easy to get lost because other people are talking, the activities happening there. So how do you bring the activity to yourself? And me, I'm not an actor who runs from that. In fact, when I have a lot to say, I try to tell the director, these things, we're explaining things too much. How do we? So from time, I've always been an actor who likes to do less. So even when the lines are there, of course, we can.
He's a liar. I kick his butt.
No.
We're talking about this one, huh?
Oh yeah, we're
talking about this one.
He just has a new film
But I
on
kicked
Netflix.
his butt. This one, I kick his butt.
On Netflix, Tokumbo. Man, this is Gideon Okeke. Super talented, and he's somebody I respect. Also, for actors, you know, he's one of those people I can look at his thing and like, bro, I love that. So this is Gideon Okeke.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. See this? It's a belly button. If you check him, he has one too. What I got, he got it.
Yeah.
Bad mother, what?
Thanks, man. Oh my God, this guy is great. He's one of the an actor's actor. That's what I'd say. It's an actor's actor, and I'm not just saying, man. Gideon Okeke, that name, yeah.
Nice. Let's talk about that collision course. The role in that.
Production what?
Collision course. The movie.
Collision. Oh, Collision Course. Collision Course that film is it's one of the characters I can't forget in a hurry. It's one of the film's moments I can't forget in a hurry. Collision Course for me, Bonali Austin Peters, respect to you, BAP. I went to, okay, so I was filming in Ikorodu. There was this film I was doing in Ikorodu with one of my guys, Michael John. And then while we were filming, he told me, oh, that there's this film that he wants to do on the island, and he went for a reading, and a lot of actors came for the reading and all. I'm like, oh, okay, it's cool, you know. And it's Bonali Austin Peters. I'm like, Bonali Austin Peters, I'd have loved to work with her because I know she owns Terra Culture, does a lot of stage stuff. She's a big name in the industry. So I got a call. Do you know conversations, the universe aligns a lot with what we say. So we should be careful things we say. We should always try to be positive, what we want to say. So that evening, or was it the next day, I got a call from James Amuta. Hey, this is Kelechi Udegbe. I'm James Amuta. I'd love to come read for a character, Bonali Austin Peters. So that was like a Friday. And he wanted me to come on Saturday, but we didn't finish the film. We were supposed to wrap the film that Friday so that I'll just come in the morning and go, but we didn't finish the film. And I'm somebody who likes to finish what he starts. So there was an issue. There was an issue of me. I could leave if I wanted to because my contract was done. But then, because I'm also behind the scenes a bit, I try to consider, you know, the problems of, you know, this is Nigeria. Trying to get money to make a film is not easy. We don't really have that support. And then when somebody tries to sacrifice their money to make something happen, you give as much support as you can. So we talked about it. Next day, I called James Amuta. I can't make it this Saturday because I didn't finish the film. I was like, if you can't make it, don't worry. I was like, I felt bad, but I finished the film. I felt bad. I tried to reach out to him, but he didn't, you know. So I think it was Sunday. He got to me, oh, you can still come in. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, that's great, you know. So I got there, I did the reading. I did the reading. I just read like 2 pages. I read the first scene, I read the second scene. Like she just said, yeah, fine, it's okay. Thank you very much. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, what did I do? And again, there were some other actors there, which senior colleagues, which I respect a lot, and other people. And I heard that a lot of people had come to read for the character, you know. So I wasn't thinking anything. And I got home that day, and then I got a call from Uncle Joseph Umubo. I'm like, hey, yeah, my name is Joseph. I will actually play the characters. I was so excited. Now, Collision Course for me is a two-way thing. I grew up close to the police barracks, so I know a bit about the welfare and all of policemen and all that kind of stuff. But also I know about police brutality and everything they do, you know. So playing that character, when I got to the police barracks, I lived close to the police barracks in Okota, but when we got to the police barracks I was using to film, I felt really bad. The whole thing, you know, it was easy for me because the locations, the story, the things I could see, I just aligned with it. I understood. And big ups to BAP because she's one director, like she's a director that is your friend. You know, there was one particular scene, the scene where there was that accidental discharge. I played with Daniel. So she really wanted that scene to be, you know. So she took me and Daniel, while they were setting up, she took me and Daniel to our friend's place, and I ate, the food was great. Rice and eforiro. Mama, you still owe me. So after that, she now talked to us about the scene, what we thought and all. So I was talking and Daniel was bringing his idea. And at the end of the day, that meeting we had was pivotal. It was pivotal because that was really, really, really what it was. And I was really happy that she gave us that chance to express ourselves. So collision course is a personal story. And also, I'm not going to say police brutality is not a thing, but also the welfare of our force people, our officers, the police, the army, all that. I mean, they're doing a whole lot, and the welfare can be different, should be different, because these guys are giving their lives and everything to protect the citizens and all, and at the end of the day, what they get paid. You know, sometimes it's frustrations. I carried an AK-47 all through that, and let me tell you, carrying an AK-47 with a black and black uniform under the sun, no, you just be angry at anybody. For nothing, you just be angry because it's so heavy and all that. And imagine doing all this after a month, I don't get paid, or 2 months I'm being owed, or I get paid and the money is doing nothing for me. So, you know, sometimes, I don't say it's justified to extort, but make of it what you will, you know. So, and Collision Course was great for me because it got me an AMA award for Best Supporting Actor, also got me the Best Actor in Afrif. Shout out to Chomo Day, shout out to the late Mama for AMA, you know, but it was great for me. It was good, and then, you know, also I got a nomination at the British Urban Film Festival in London for Collision Course. Yeah, so Collision Course was great. It was great. It was, I can't forget. Yeah, it was great. I was challenging because I finished that film, and for like a week I was just in the house because there's a whole lot that was messing with my mind because of the characterization and all that. Yeah, there was a scene I finished and I'm like, Mama, I feel like Virtue left me. I'm so tired. And she was like, oh, Kelechi. In fact, when BAP, during the shoot, she was like, Kelechi, how come I've never seen you before? How come I don't know you? I'm like, and one thing I respect BAP for is she casts actors not because of your face or because of what you've done or that. She casts who fits the character. And that's the thing about her. She casts, you fit the character, you get it. I don't care if your face is all over the place or not, or if nobody knows you. Don't worry. You fit what I want. Shout out to BAP.
Let's talk about Officer Titus.
Officer Titus. Officer Titus. Titus na fish. Titus was one of the Titus was a series that really blew me up, you know, and it came out when, you know, there was no much content, skits on YouTube and all that, you know, and it's because it's very relatable. And then Last Man just came out, you know, and the Last Man guys, they were, you know, so Daniel Effion called me because he was working for Danny then, and like, oh, I'm trying to develop something for Danny, come in and all that. So me and British Richard went to meet him. After the meeting, he said, oh, I have this idea of this officer who always gets in trouble and all that kind of stuff, you know. So then we didn't really have much, so he had an idea for an episode, you know. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So the characterization for Officer Titus, I brought the characterization of Officer Titus. The story, you know, was there, but we fine-tuned, and then, yeah, Officer Titus was so great. A lot of people loved it because of the relatability, the fact that a lot of people thought I was a last man officer. In fact, a lot of people think I'm an officer because, you know, the way they bump into your car, enter, and all that kind of stuff. Still, Officer Titus is beautiful. I won't forget. A lot of people see me today, and it's Officer Titus they know me by. So yes, it was a great series for me.
Right, lastly, Mami Water.
Oh my God, yes, this is the question I've been waiting for. Mami Water, no tell them. So Mami Water was birthed by CJ Obasi and Ogi Obasi. And I worked with them on Ojuju. That's the first film we did together. And when they were doing Old Town, they wanted me to come to Owerri, but I was filming Hotel Majestic in Lagos, so I couldn't. But for Mami Water, Ogi told me about it, like, oh, we have this film to do Mami Water, we're trying to get money for it and all. I'm like, how much? Ogi said, it was hundreds of millions. I'm like, hey, where do you want me to see money from? I don't have that kind of money. I don't even know anybody who's going to release 200, 300, 400 million naira for me now. And she's like, have faith, believe, and try. You know, I said, okay, no problem. What can I do? And then I was given a character, you know, so I started sourcing for money, and before you know, I had raised some money for myself personally to invest. We went to, we're filming in Cotonou. We got to Cotonou. I got to Cotonou on the 14th of December with Emeka Makeze. We're supposed to start filming like 16th, 17th. And then the equipment guy calls and says, all right, I'm not doing this thing again. And we're like, huh? Everybody was in camp. Everybody's in camp. It was crazy. We had to wait. The whole of December, we didn't do nothing because we're supposed to have start filming. The partner pulled out. And then in January, 1st of January was when the 1st of January was when cameras came, and that's the first time we rolled, you know. So because we had partners giving us equipment, we already had that lockdown. But when they pulled out now, the monies that were supposed to be used for welfare and other things had to now be put into get cameras. So staying in Cotonou for that over 2 months wasn't funny because, I started calling, hey, please, can you loan me money for this, that? Everybody was running around. Eating wasn't really easy. It was a very stressful film to make, I wouldn't lie. Shout out to all the cast and crew that survived being with us in Daher for Mami Water. The good thing is Mami Water broke a lot of records, put Nigeria on the map. It was Nigeria's selection for the Oscars. We got to the last stage, but we didn't make the Oscars. But then we got to the biggest stage, We premiered at Sundance. Sundance Film Festival was one of the biggest film festivals in the world. I went to Sundance. I was excited. Made a lot of people connect, related and all. Mami Water has gone to so many festivals. Waga Film Lab. I can't remember all, but Mami Water had a good run, and also acted in Mami Water. And Mami Water, one thing I love for Mami Water is it put Nigeria also on the map again. So, people start saying, oh, there's this country that makes films like this. And it's a different film. It's a film about the old and the new, It's a film about politics. It's a film about culture. It's a film about how black is beautiful. Because, it was shot in black and white. In fact, when CJ said I was going to do it in black and white, a lot of people were scared for him. Somebody had to even say, oh, I'm not going to be involved in this. And if anybody wants to get involved in this, I'll tell them not to because you're doing black and white. It was a risky venture, because how can you do black and white? How will people see it? But then I'm so glad it was accepted. And then the ideas came to CJ when what he told me, what it is he was at the beach sometime and then he looked and he saw like a figure coming towards him, towards the shore, and then he saw that figure walking towards the water, and he was just trying to see what's the correlation between these two people. What's the correlation? And that is when he started thinking about it, and that's where the idea was born. So Mami Water is a great film. It's good for the black community. It's a film that shows how much we can do, what we can do with the little we have, and Mami Water, thank you. And I'm glad being an executive producer on it. I'm glad to be an actor on it too. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's speak about what some of the actors that kind of inspire you maybe before you started and even now.
Okay, actors that inspired me before I started. I'd say Eddie Murphy, because I used to see a lot of sitcoms back in the day. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Will Smith. That's the most of their sitcoms then. I really loved it. I was following it up. So, also, I love, I'd say, who do I'd say Denzel is very also because I love the way he performs. He's a mix of everything. He's a very serious guy, very funny guy, very funny guy. Denzel is one guy that kills you, and everybody finds it funny, and he can still kill you, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy is very deadly," So he's one of the people. Johnny Depp also is fantastic. I love him for his characterization. You can see him in different characters. Pirates of the Caribbean I always see it. Johnny Depp is very inspirational. I love him. These are some of the people that I like to see, and I follow their works, and they inspire me. In the Nigerian scene, I love RMD, and I love that he has been present continuously till now. Ramsey Noah is also one of those guys I used to watch from then. And then Gideon is a fantastic guy. He just came here. On the same set with me. He's a fantastic guy. He's one of the guys I really like, and then I watch what he does. Gabriel Afolayan is one of those fantastic people. For me, I'm just saying we have very great actors, but people that maybe I've seen one or two things. So Gabriel, Gideon, Blossom is one of those guys too. There's so many of them. I can't remember now, but Greg Ojefua too is, oh my God, he's a Teddy, actually, a true like Teddy. Greg Ojefua is fantastic. Oh my God. you know, I auditioned with him for something and then he got it. And I'm like, for this guy to get it, man, crazy. This guy is really good because I know I try also, you know. And me and Greg, we met in a very funny way. And he's my guy, he's been my guy for a very long time. So yeah, I'd say some of the actors. And then, yeah.
Right, nice. Okay, so for someone who plays, each episode very well, like the Taji Driver one, actually I was stunned by performance because, like you said, you didn't say much, but your acting was just 100%, in that. So for someone who interprets his roles very well, like you, and then sometimes it's often roles that are not too pleasing to the fans. Do you sometimes get people to react to you as a result of maybe a movie that you played?
Oh, yes. So the thing is, even me, sometimes I see some films and I cry. All right, yes, you don't catch me, you know, because it's an emotional journey, you know. And trust me, some people see films as true life situations, you know. Some people don't see you beyond the character you play in the film. They tend to see you like, oh, but you're a very cool guy. Or how come you're always a bad guy in most of the things you play? Or how come you're always doing this in most of the things you play? Because they liken you to what you play. You know, so yes, I do get a lot of, wow, guy, you were so, come on now, why did you, I'm like, it's not me, it's the character. I say, well, I don't care, it's you. You know, so I get that a lot, And because when you play something so well, they can't separate you from that character. You know, if you don't play it so well, they might not be like that. But because, and I understand why they're like that, because the characters played so well, so they're seeing me from the eyes of that character. You know, so it takes a while for me to like, no, it's not like that, and all, for them to understand, okay, I should not really like that. So yeah, I do get it a lot. I'm sure I'll still get it today. So I've found a way to live with it. But me, my own person, I'm playful, I'm very playful. I'm shy, and a lot of people who I went to secondary school together are surprised at what I'm doing now, because back then I didn't talk, I wasn't in the drama group, I was in nothing, you know. And even till now, it's when I see a camera that I feel alive, you know. Like I'm doing this interview now. Call me for a photo session and I'm confused because there are still pictures. So I have to say, oh, tell me what to do and all. Call me to come and give a speech or something. Call me to come out. I have to like channel my inner chi. But you know, with this, oh my God, it's so. So I don't know, that's it. All right, so projects coming soon. Yeah, that's great. So I just finished a 3-month shoot with Las Giddy Cops, Yemisi Wada, Ashake Productions. We just finished, it's about a month now. Oh, this is when August. We finished in, well, we finished about 3 weeks ago. This last month we finished. Las Giddy Cops coming to Canal Plus. It's very exciting. I can't wait for you all to see what we have. It's a great show, Las Giddy Cops. I play the character of Efusa. And then I also have the hearse driver, the hearse. Now, so because a lot of people might have an issue, have a challenge with saying, understand what the hearse is, you know. So the title is now going to be the hearse driver. I don't know what platform it's coming to yet, but it's a fantastic and awesome title for you to see. Yeah, those two. I have something coming on, I think Netflix soon, The Party. Yes, you know, and a couple of other titles, yeah.